And again, all you need is materials that are pretty much throwaway. Okay, this is going to be a remake of a video I did before, or maybe I'll just keep it as a supplement and leave the other one up there. It came out kind of blurry last time. I made a Chickadee bird feeder. This is similar to the one I made, or it might even be the one I made. I remake these every year or so. But basically it's spring-loaded. Little tray for the seed to fall into is spring-loaded against the base. And that keeps the seed from falling straight out of it, and if the squirrels attack it or something, it doesn't all shake out. So little by little, and as the birds peck around and stir it out, the seeds trickle out. It's worked really well for me, so I don't have a big pile of seed in the ground which attracts mice and etc. This one I made by drilling, 3 big holes, then cutting between them. I got a little simpler method now. Basically all you need for this project is some kind of container. I used to use the longer peanut jars, but basically however big of a jar you want to use, plastic jar. For a long time I used this type of jar. I'd cut the holes in this lid. I found these to be really easy to work with because the lid's nice and wide. This is like a lemonade powdered juice, drink thing. And I would just use this one and put a new back on it because the back's what got destroyed. But I don't have one that'll fit it, so I'm going to make a whole new one. Keep that around as a spare. So the first thing, instead of drilling the holes like I did last time, I found an easier way. And that is to simply put a little bit of water in it, just a tiny bit of water in the bottom, and then I'll put it in the microwave for a minute and let the water get hot. And I won't need a hot knife. I'll use a regular scalpel at that point to cut the holes I need in there. So I'm going to pop this in the microwave and be right back. First of all, the materials you need are just some container like this. Something like a tray, and I'm going to use 2 of them, so I got a backup. Which I'll probably use 3 and make it really backed up. Maybe a bottle cap, or I got these little plastic nubs I'll use for spacers. But you could use like a bottle cap. Need some wire. This is like from a Chinese food carry-out paper box. I'm probably for this project going to use these shorter ones. These are from a ticket wicket from a ski ticket. But any kind of coated steel wire like that will work for this project. Chromed steel, it won't rot too quick. Have a little spring to it, and maybe a needle nose, and a lighter, or I'm just going to light a candle in this case, make it a little easier on myself. Because I'm going to be punching little holes in the center of all these discs with a hot wire. And I'll show you that as I go on here. Alright, I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of that, but I got a nice hot, it's like 55 seconds here. I set the microwave to. The water's nearly boiling. A couple teaspoons I put in the bottom. Now I'm going to cut holes in a similar shape to what I cut in the other one. And be right back. I'm going to use an X-Acto knife. Like so. Well, I got a little sloppy there. I probably let it cool too long trying to do this video. I should have cut the holes immediately. I could even dip the, if I didn't mind ruining the blade, I could have put the blade in the flame and heated the blade that way. Or if you had a hot knife, that would work too, of course. But good enough. So my next point is going to be heating the end of a wire and poking holes through all the center of these discs, and including this one. Now I could just heat a piece of wire. I made a little widget. It's not necessary for this project. It gives me a little more thermal energy so I can poke multiple holes. I had another project I was doing where I had to poke a lot of holes, so I made this thing. But you could just heat the end of the wire, you know, and poke them the same way I'm going to do this one. Let's get good and hot. And then I'll just be going to the very center of all these discs and punching a hole. I'm probably not going to be able to hold the camera and show you that. I should hook my little tripod up, but oh well. And I punched holes in the dead center of each of these discs. Probably not going to use all these, probably use one less than all of these. So now I need to bend a wire into a spring shape. And I usually put the spring on the inside of the lid here. I'm going to go different this year just to be different. And I'm going to put the spring at the bottom of the whole assembly. See if that makes it any easier to make or maintain. We'll see. So I'm going to bend the spring and come back to you. I'm just going to use a needle nose and a little careful bending. Okay, so I just made myself a little spring. A little fancier than the last year. Try a little different approach. But it doesn't have to, as long as it works. I'm going fancy this time here. But you can see my last one was just a simple coil that stood up right on the... So whatever, as long as it has some spring to it. I ended up plugging the hole in the middle that I made and put two little... went fancy in this one. Because that center hole always tends to leak. You also get a little condensation in here. I usually just, when I refill them, I just let them dry out. But I figure maybe this will let it vent on the sides a little bit without getting water rolling directly into the hole. I don't usually put a hole through the middle and try to seal it, but the seal always ends up breaking, letting water collect on top and drain in there. So I went this way. No big change. Use your creativity. And here's the finished unit, pretty much like the old one. Spring's mostly at the bottom now though. And the same effect, where the little Pringles lid in the middle here fits tightly against the unit, kind of spring held. So there's a little bit of spring to the thing, keep it all from just pouring out. And that's basically complete. One other little thing unrelated. We're going over to the hummingbird feeder. If you have trouble with ants getting to your hummingbird, make yourself one of these. And again, I just used a hot wire to put a hole in the bottom of this is like the cap from a margarine cover over that spray margarine stuff. Put some little cap like that. And then I put a wire straight through with a little crook in the middle so it doesn't go straight through. And a little hook on each end. And then I put some glue or some wax or something down there. And then you fill this with water partly. So if you have trouble with ants getting into your hummingbird feeder, this will stop it. It's a little moat. Just a little added bonus. And then when it's all filled up, ready to hang outside, I usually prime it a little first. Push down a little bit on the spring lid and let a little bit of seed in there. So there's some seed that they can see to get at initially. So I prime it a little. And now it's ready to hang up. There we go, I got it primed. A little bit of seed all the way around. And I've got a mix of seed in here, mostly oilers. It's about half.